told you that every episode in Donbrothers has a reference in it to a past Sentai, would you believe me? Well, it does, and it's through the plot and the villains. So let's go through them now after we henshin up. Kezza Henshin. Now, I always thought that for an anniversary season, using the powers of past Sentai, Donbrothers was pretty poor on that element, as they barely used the powers, mainly using their own Donbrothers forms. But little did I know that the references go much deeper than the Sentai themselves using the powers, but the villains themselves being corrupted by them for some reason. So let's get right into it, because this is going to be a very long video, starting with episode 1. Don 1, Avataro. This episode is the start of the show, obviously, and introduces some of our characters pretty much. Jin finds baby Taro, then 21 years later, we meet the accused plagiarist, Haruka. Dun dun dun! No. She becomes Oni's sister, and Kiji brother and Don Momotaro come together with her to fight their first villain. This episode is a tribute to Kishiryu Sentai Ryo-Soldier, and has 3 villains. Firstly, we have our taxi driver who turns into Benetsuki, Haruka's classmate who turns into Shizotsuki, and finally we have a table tennis medalist as the villain of the week, who turns into a knight-themed Hitotsuki called Kirishuyuki, Knight Dragon Demon, possessing a Ryo-Soldier Sentai gear out of his desire to prove that he is the strongest. He is clearly themed on Ryo-Soldier with the knightly look of Ryo-Soldier's suits and helmets, just more medievally with a sword as their weapon, which is in a kanabo style, a style that many Hitotsuki will have from now on. And to finish off, Kishiryu from his name is in reference to the title of the season, Kirishyu Sentai Ryo-Soldier. Don 2, Big Peach, Small Peach. In this episode, Haruka is searching for Taro. Meanwhile, Taro has unintentionally turned his co-worker into a Hitotsuki. This happens way too many times in the show, by the way. This episode is a tribute to Resha Sentai Tokuja, as the villain of the week is a co-worker to Taro who turns into a train-themed Hitotsuki called Reshaki, Train Demon, possessing a Tokuja Avataro gear out of her desire to look younger. She is clearly themed on Tokuja being quick, and summoning train tracks, also absorbing humans through her chest armor like coal to a furnace, and in turn, shooting fire out of it. Also, the very obvious look of the hyper mode upgrade from the show, with elements of past Tokuja villains inspiring the headpiece. And they look like a train, I think that's the most obvious thing. Even as Resha King as well, it's designed very similarly to the crew liners the villains ride. As well as the villains, the plot has similarities to the Tokuja storyline. How Isano's desire is to be younger and younger compared to the Tokuja's plot, where they were young but transformed to be older. And to finish off, the Resha from her name is in reference to the title of the season, Resha Sentai Tokuja. Don 3, Light Thief. In this episode, Haruka joins forces with Taro to investigate a mysterious thief who steals lamps. Weird, but oh well. The Donbrothers also encounter Tsunoni, a member of the Noto. This episode is a tribute to the Lupin Rangers from Kaito Sentai Lupin Rangers versus Keisatsu Sentai Pat Ranger, as the villain of the week is a thief who turns into a thief-themed Hitotsuki called Kaitoki, Phantom Thief Demon, possessing a Lupin Ranger Avataro gear, out of his desire to steal the light and bring darkness to the people. He is clearly themed on Lupin Ranger as a thief, as well as the Lupin Ranger emblem, his design also featuring a monocle and coins in his chest in reference to Arsène Lupin, a world-famous master thief. I mean, if you don't know about Lupin, or Lupin, you are living under a rock, I think. And to finish off, the Kaito from his name is in reference to the title of the season, Kaito Sentai Lupin Ranger vs Keisatsu Sentai Pat Ranger. Don 4, Onigiri Oni. In this episode, Taro works a part-time job with Kijino. This episode is a tribute to Choriki Sentai O-Ranger, as the villain of the week is a chef who turns into an Egyptian-themed Hitotsuki called Chorikiki. Kikiki. Oh gosh. Superpower demon, possessing an O-Ranger Avataro gear out of his desire to make onigiris that are worth 100 points. Onigiris? O-Ranger? Is that the connection? Maybe, but he is clearly themed after pyramids and lost civilizations from a design point. The pyramid on his head is clearly meant to represent the O-Ranger Robo and King Pyramida. And then Doglander is referred to with the emblem on his chest. And to finish off, the Choriki from his name is in reference to the title of the season, Choriki Sentai O-Ranger. Don 5, Hold Up Dog. In this episode, we are introduced to Tsubasa, an accused fugitive who is on the run from the police. This episode is a tribute to the Pat Rangers from Kaito Sentai Lupin Rangers vs Keisatsu Sentai Pat Ranger, as the villain of the week is a policeman who turns into a bulldog/police officer-themed Hitotsuki called Keisatsuki. Police Demon, possessing a Patranger Sentai gear, out of his desire to give him credit and receive the Police Chief Award. He is clearly themed on Patranger, shown as a dog and police, which are the usual pair you would see, wielding a gun and having the ability to smell his enemies, a tracking dog if you will. This is so obviously Patranger, even Kaisetsu King's design clearly being a reference to Pat Kaiser. And to finish off, the Keisatsu from his name is in reference to the title of the season, Keisatsu Sentai Patranger, Kaisetsu meaning police. Don 6, Short-Lived Pheasant. In this episode, we look into Kijino's anxiety of not being a suitable man to his wife, and decides to challenge Taro in order to prove himself for some reason. Toxic masculinity right here, folks, thinking you need to be more to satisfy. This episode is a tribute to Dobatsu Sentai Zuo Oja, as the villain of the week is a nurse who turns into an animal-themed Hitotsuki called Dobatsuki, Animal Demon, possessing a Zuoja Sentai gear, out of her desire to have everyone who is hospitalized cared for. She just wants everyone to be well, but any desire can be ruined here. She is clearly themed after Zuoja, with an animal theme including multiple animal faces coming out of the mouth of another. God, that's a confusing sentence. But it's like, for example, a shark to a lion to a bird, and a cubed design on the skin meant to represent the grid pattern of Zuoja. Also, the plot has some input to this too, as they challenge and battle like two animals proving their worth in the wild. To finish off, the Dobatsu from her name is in reference to the title of the season, Dobatsu Sentai Zuoja, Dobatsu meaning animal. Don 7. Group of teachers. In this episode, Shinichi and Taro pay a visit to Haruka's school as special guest teachers. This episode is a tribute to Chikyu Sentai 5-man, as the villain of the week is a principal who turned into an Earth-themed Hitotsuki called Chikyuki, Earth Demon, possessing a 5-man Avataro gear out of his desire to discipline. Delightful! He is clearly themed after 5-man and on learning and knowledge, hence his head is literally a globe representing said knowledge. He can imprison and teleport people to his office if they break a rule, and instant detention being sent literally to the principal's office, which I find kind of funny. But it seems he has an awful case of the allergies, sneezing a lot. So I wondered if anyone was highly allergic in 5-man, but haven't found anything yet. So please let me know if there is anyone who has allergies in the show, as this is a clear weakness of his that would be random to add in. But this is Donbrothers, written by Inoue. So what do I know? However, what I do know is that they, like the season it's referencing, is all about teaching. The 5-man were taught and they passed that knowledge on, hence why it was the principal wanting to teach and discipline, and why Taro and Sarahara are also here to teach too. Also, last thing, I don't know if this is a conscious choice by Inoue, but he has many students in the classroom along with Haruka. Could these represent the actual 5-man team, or even the students that they taught afterwards? I don't know, this is very much me grasping at straws, but possibly, I don't know. You never know with the show. And to finish off, the Chikyu from his name is in reference to the title of the season, Chikyu Sentai 5-man. Chikyu meaning Earth, as in the Earth Defenders, the 5-man team. Don 8. Long Hair Captivity. In this episode, Tsuyoshi and Tsubasa meet, and we are shown the odd similarities of Kijino's wife and Tsubasa's fiancé. We also see the start of Taro's and Sonoi's friendship, even though they are actually enemies, and eventual relationship. Huh? What? I didn't say anything. I mean, come on, this dude is literally checking him out. Are you kidding me? This episode is a tribute to Mashin Sentai Kirameja, as the villain of the week is a long-haired painter who turns into a gemstone-themed Hitotsuki called Mashinki, Machine Demon, possessing a Kirameja Avataro gear out of his desire to draw an ideal model. This is called being creepy and kidnapping. He is clearly themed after Kirameja, looking bejeweled, covered in gemstones, wearing a headdress that represents what is worn by the bishops of royalty of the Land of Jewels, Crystalia, very similar to King Oradin. Mashinki is also invulnerable to attacks, hard like an unbreakable gem. Also, you could say for him, the model was the jewel in the rough, the model that he wanted, so he in fact stole her, as if stealing something as valuable as a jewel. And to finish off, the machine from his name is in reference to the title of the season, Mashin Sentai Kirameja. Mashin meaning machine. Also, something I just realized, this is where Taro and Sonoi meet, technically for the first time, they see each other. Sonoi arrives blue like a gem, shining, shimmering, splendid. Look at this man. So it kind of makes sense that this is the first time they actually meet properly, and it's the start of their friendship, and yeah. Sonoi's looking alright, okay? I know people don't like his fashion sense, but come on. He is Kira-amazing. Anyway, moving on. And one more thing about these two. Do you realize that this whole episode was about the gems, about being invulnerable to attacks? And here, Taro and Sonoi go into the flaming building of fire and come out pretty much unscathed. Together, they are stronger. Don 9. Worn out Taro and Robotaro. In this episode, Taro is sick, and Kaito joins the Donbrothers in battle, revealing his secret identity as Zenkaiser Black. I so wanted more of Zenkaiser Black's origin and reasonings, but oh well. This episode is a tribute to Tokume Sentai Go Busters, as the villain of the week is an old man who turns into a cheetah-themed Hitotsuki called Tokumeki, Special Operations Demon, possessing a Go Busters Avataro gear, out of his desire to play with everyone. He is clearly themed after the Go Busters, a cheetah in design with spots on his shoulders and big animal ears, possibly like Nick's ears or handles, as well as having the Go Busters visor and cheetah face on his chest, referencing Red Buster and Cheetah Nick, his companion. He possesses abilities like super speed, allowing him to play tag with everyone, a reference to Red Buster's special ability, as well as having his games require people to stand still, referring to Hiromu's weak point, when chickens are in sight. And on closer inspection, he has these digital tentacles, I guess. That's the only way I can describe it. But it is very digital, just like the Go Busters background in their transformation sequence, and it just looks very Go Busters, doesn't it? Tokumeki is childlike, wanting to play games with the Donbrothers, and this reflects the Go Busters' nature, as they are still all quite young, and younger when the events that led them to becoming Go Busters happened. Also, the fact that he has his main body and then also his Hitotsuki body is quite interesting, because obviously with the Go Busters, they have their main ranger, and then they also have their companion. So it's almost like he has his own companion, which is nice. Because obviously it's him in the hospital bed, and then his childlike wonder as a ghost that comes out. And to finish off, the Tokume from his name is in reference to the title of the season, Tokume Sentai Go Busters. Tokume meaning special operations. And again, another final thing, on closer inspection, I've just realised this episode is about Go Busters, the Sentai that has weaknesses when they get too hot or they see a chicken or something weird. And this is one of a few times that Taro is sick as well, or weakened. The similarities there are quite obvious. And then Don 10, the rainbow the Oni saw. In this episode, Haruka leaves the Donbrothers after gaining enough Kibi points, but feels conflicted when she meets her counterpart and replacement, whose actor was in the running to be Haruka originally. Mini fact for you. This episode is a tribute to Kaizoku Sentai Go Kaija, as the villain of the week is a man who turns into a pirate-themed Hitotsuki called Kaizokuki, Pirate Demon, possessing a Go Kaija Avataro gear, because of his desire to be a manga writer. Now, he is clearly themed after the Go Kaijas, but not because of the team specifically, but more because he has a pirate theme with a dash of octopus. People have referenced Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean. That is him. He can absorb humans with his facial tentacles. I feel icky saying that. Anyway, and wields a sword like the Go Kaija team. He will do what it takes to get what he wants. That's very Go Kaija of you. Marvelous would be, proud, I guess? I'm confused. Oh, and also he's taking the other manga writers because he's pirating them. Now I get it. Pirate. Anyway, to finish off, the Kaizoku from his name is in reference to the title of the season, Kaizoku Sentai Go Kaija. Kaizoku meaning pirate. Don 11, the dog gets sunstroke. In this episode, we have the first of many appearances by a man who is firstly obsessed with becoming a ninja. This episode is a tribute to Shuriken Sentai Ninja, specifically as the villain of the week is a reoccurring enemy of the Donbrothers who will turn into various Hitotsuki over the season, but first turns into a ninja-themed Hitotsuki called Shurikenki, Shuriken Demon, possessing a ninja Avataro gear out of his desire to show off his ninpo. Everyone in this show needs therapy, especially this guy. But Taro did start it, I guess. He is clearly themed after a ninja. I mean, come on, he is a ninja. Dressed in purple, with shurikens everywhere, as a hat, as weapons, and is apparently a reference to Aka Ninja's visor. Along with the shuriken, he also uses ninja techniques, such as shadow cloning technique, and to finish off, the shuriken from his name is in reference to the title of the season, Shuriken Sentai Ninja. Shuriken meaning hidden hand blade. Don 12, the moon is lying. In this episode, Taro, who physically can't lie, learns about a white lie. And we see this beautiful scene with the moon and the stars and the sorry. This episode is a tribute to Uchu Sentai Kyuranger, as the villain of the week is an idol otaku who turned into a space-themed Hitotsuki called Uchu-ki, Space Demon, possessing a Kyuranger Avataro gear out of his desire to have all idols. Again, another creepy guy. Honestly, the moon scene makes sense now if it's Kyuranger and space. Love that. But yeah, back to Uchuki. Uchuki's design is one of the most interesting, I think, clearly themed after space, but also has elephants on either side, meant to look like a world elephant, a mythical animal in Hindu cosmology, which I think is a nice addition. Also, the fact that his head looks like a kutama, the spheres that contain the power of the Kyurangers. Another interesting thing about this is that Uchu King does part of the Kyurangers Sentai dance when transformed, so that's kinda cool. Now that I think about it, of course, the idol otaku would turn and have references to space, as idols are considered stars, shining so bright on stage and are out of your league, son. And to finish off, the Uchu from his name is in reference to the title of the season, Uchu Sentai Kyuranger. Uchu meaning space. I guess the main reason why I'm making this video is because I had no clue that the villains were literally named after the seasons. Oh my god, I was so slow. Anyway, moving on. Don 13. Goodbye, Taro. In this episode, Taro dies. Yeah, not great, as it's kinda the team's fault. This episode is a tribute to Zuden Sentai Kyoryuja, as the villain of the week is a lady who turns into a dinosaur-themed Hitotsuki called Zudenki, Beast Power Demon, possessing a Kyoryuja Avataro gear out of her desire for companionship. God, the show was good, and gave me the drama I desired for this brewing bromance. But now I think about it, dinosaurs have been said to have been in social herds. They had companionship, and she desired companionship. And finally, in comparison, Taro and Sonoi wished to be friends, but the ugly reality of the situation was revealed. It's kinda sad. Zudenki is clearly themed after Kyoryuja, with references in design to a Tyrannosaurus, tiki mask, and festival dancing. Very Kingu of you. And of course, a nod to the samba dance theme from the show. Even the hair being made to look like Zudenshi batteries used as power-ups. And to finish off, the Zuden from her name is in reference to the title of the season, Zuden Sentai Kyoryuja. Zuden meaning beast power. Also, the fact that this is episode 13, and 13 is an unlucky number, and Taro dies in episode 13 is very ironic. Or very smart in a way. Ooh, I see what you're doing. Don 14, Substitute Juro. In this episode, the team looks for a way to bring Taro back. Yeah, you better feel guilty. But Taro has a replacement, and he has come to join them. This episode is a tribute to Kosoku Sentai Toba Ranger, as the villain of the week is a shogi player who turns into a racer-themed Hitotsuki called Kosokuki, high-speed demon, possessing a Turbo Ranger Avataro gear out of his desire to become stronger with shogi. Kosokuki is clearly themed after Turbo Ranger, with beams of light coming from his eyes like car headlights, turning people into shogi board pieces and running quickly. Again, like the speed of a car to avoid enemy attacks. And look at him, he looks like a shogi piece. I just love the design of the villain this season. I haven't said that enough. Also, no wonder that this is a show about Turbo Ranger, because in the first scene that he is introduced, he is told to hurry up, playing the shogi game. So no wonder his Hitotsuki is all about racing. And to finish off, the Kosoku from his name is in reference to the title of the season, Kosoku Sentai Turbo Ranger. Kosoku meaning high speed. Don 15. Welcome back, Taro. In this episode, they are still trying to get Taro back, but things work out as Sonoi and Juro, Taro's replacement, work together. This episode is a tribute to Gekiso Sentai Car Ranger, and set before Avataro Sentai Donbrothers meet Senpaija, as the villain of the week is Kijino? Yeah. The main Sentai team also gets turned into Hitotsuki from time to time, showing you anyone can really become a villain. Anyway, he turns into another car-themed Hitotsuki, this time called Gekisoki, Racing Demon, possessing a Car Ranger Avataro gear out of a desire to make those who hurt his wife pay. Oof. He's a vengeful type and not the happy-go-lucky man we thought anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now witnessing his spiral into madness. Buckle up, it's gonna be a bumpy ride. Gekisoki is clearly themed after Car Ranger, his design looking like a race car with references to RV Robo. He can run at high speeds, casting a red light, the light again coming from headlights, this time from his forehead, and making any vehicle disappear. Because in the original Sentai, they have lights on their forehead, on the helmet. Like, this is clever stuff. I bet you wouldn't have noticed that if I hadn't told you. Last time the car-themed Hitotsuki turned people into shogi board pieces. This time, it was the cars that disappeared, as Kijino wants to protect his wife from anything dangerous, mainly vehicles, hence what disappears changes with intention. That's actually really clever. Talk about being overprotective though. And to finish off, the Gekiso from his name is in reference to the title of the season. Gekiso Sentai Car Ranger. Gekiso meaning racing. Don 16, Darkness Switch. In this episode, Jiro shows us his dangerous side. This episode is a tribute to Kyoryo Sentai Zyuranger, as the villain of the week is a gamer who turns into a fossil-themed Hitotsuki called Kyoryoki, Dinosaur Demon, possessing a Zyuranger Avataro gear out of his desire to clear a game. Priorities, man, touch some grass, okay? He is clearly themed after Zyuranger, his Hitotsuki design showing animal fossils, specifically the ones of the core Zyurangers, the Tyrannosaurus in the helmet, with the mammoth tusks, Triceratops head, and the saber-toothed tiger making up the chest piece and shoulder pads. If you see the other one, then let me know, I can't work it out. And almost like the chest piece of the Green Ranger, if I can stretch the idea more, but I don't know. But to finish off, the Kyoryo from his name is in reference to the title of the season, Kyoryo Sentai Zyuranger. Kyoryo meaning dinosaur. But thinking about it quickly, wasn't Barai the original Green Ranger also considered evil at the beginning? Coincidence? I think not. Don 17, Light and Tsubasa. In this episode, it's been a year since Tsubasa's waited for Natsume's return. By the way, this whole love lookalike situation is fucked. This episode is a tribute to Chojin Sentai Jetman, as the villain of the week is a random girlfriend who turns into a bird-themed Hitotsuki called Chojinki, Birdman Demon, possessing a Jetman Avataro gear out of his desire in wanting the love of destiny. Gosh, aiming high, huh? Chojinki is clearly themed after Jetman cause bird, producing eggs that explode cause bird, and being able to fly cause bird. The design has a very clear bird themed intermixed with clouds, which is a nice touch, along with the black feathers, which I have now noticed is in reference to the one and only Guy Yuki, the black Jetman Ranger who died at the end of the show, which of course left many people feeling sad, hurt and betrayed. Possibly a similar hurt that the random girl feels. I don't know, I'm stretching for this one, but it's okay. And to finish off, the Chojin from her name is in reference to the title of the season, Chojin Sentai Jetman, Chojin meaning Birdman. Don 18, a jawsome strike. In this episode, there is no villain of the week, as Jiro and the rest of the team have a contest against Taro to prove their worth. Also, this is the introduction to a new threat, Don Murasame, a talking sword who is also traumatized. Everyone's traumatized at this point. So this episode is not really a tribute to anything except for the team learning a lesson that you just can't beat Taro. Even if you can, you just can't. Unless there is a reference here, then do please let me know down below, as from my point of view, it's Don Murasame's introduction. I would have loved to know more about the Don clan, as we have Don Momoitaro, Don Murasame, and then Jiro as well, who's also part of the Don clan. What happened with the Don clan? Don 19, Hello Ghost. In this episode, Haruka sees and befriends a ghost, unintentionally. This episode is a tribute to Engine Sentai Go Onja, as the villain of the week is a female ghost who turns into an engine-themed Hitotsuki called Engine-ki, Engine Demon, possessing a Go Onja Avataro gear out of her desire to meet Shinzo Tadokoro, her old flame. It is kind of clear that this Hitotsuki is car-themed, but it's less Go Onja in design, just more car. But the powers and theming of Engine-ki is very Go Onja themed. Firstly, the fact that Minako, the ghost, is a ghost, meaning she has no body, making her unfortunately immune to attacks. And even more annoyingly, she is fast due to the wheels on her shoulders. People say she looks more like Go Roda's GT design, but I don't see it as much, but can accept that as an answer for now. Now for what I think is really cool, the fact that she is a ghost is apparently a reference to the fact that she has a soul, souls associated to engine souls, and is stuck in the telephone booth, the Go phone used in Go Onja, to power up an Henshin. She was an engine soul this whole time! I know people don't like the writing of the show, but this is clever. And to finish off, the engine from her name is in reference to the title of the season, Engine Sentai Go Onja. And you know what an engine is, I hope, so I don't need to continue this. Moving on. Don 20, the High Nose Elegy. In this episode, Taro leaves the team. This is only due to his lack of ability to lie. Taro leaves the team briefly, leaving Jiro in charge to impress his childhood friend Rumi. But the team gets carried away big time. This episode is a tribute to Gosei Sentai Dairanger and takes place just before the events of Avataro Sentai Donbrothers the movie, New First Love Hero, as the villain of the week is a man who turns into a Chinese dragon-themed Hitotsuki called Goseki, possessing a Dairanger Avataro gear out of his desire to fight the strongest man and become stronger. Goseki is clearly themed after the Dairangers, showing orbs everywhere in reference to the heavenly treasures Lai jewels, trapping people in the orbs of his necklace. Dairanger is also all about Chinese mythology and martial arts. Goseki shows that well with having a great skill in martial arts, even in his human form, and once he turns into Goseki, he is adorned with Chinese armor, even with an eye in his head in reference to the Gorma tribe from the original season, who were the main antagonists of the Dairanger team. And to finish off, Gosai from his name is in reference to the title of the season, Gosai Sentai Dairanger, Gosai meaning 5 stars. Avataro Sentai Donbrothers the movie, New First Love Hero. Now, obviously this isn't an episode of the show, but a movie based on the script New First Love Hero, the manga that Haruka was accused of stealing. Yikes! And they are all cast in it. Bigger yikes! But this movie is a tribute to Ninpo Sentai Hurricanega, as amongst the characters we have a movie director who was in fact acted by Nobu Kyo, who is in fact Isshu Kazumi in Ninpo Sentai Hurricanega. Fun fact! That movie director is the movie's antagonist who turns into a storm-themed Hitotsuki called Ninpuki, Shinobi Wind Demon, possessing a Hurricanega Avataro gear out of his desire to have a big boss battle for his movie. Now that's dedication. He just wants a good movie. Goddamn. Where are all these desires being villainized? Gosh. Now, Ninpuki is very clearly themed after the Windy Ninja Squadron Hurricanega, a hurricane design with added film tapes just to clearly show that this is a movie Hitotsuki. Using ninjutsu and his ninja skills, he can jump really high, run really fast, turn people into energy, and also shout at people with a megaphone and command zombies to do his bidding. Yeah, that took a dark, weird turn, didn't it? But even their weapon is a reference to Hurricanega, the megaphone, meaning to probably be the sonic megaphone, and to finish off, the Ninpu from his name is in reference to the title of the season, Ninpu Sentai Hurricanega, Ninpu meaning Shinobi Wind. And what can I say, but it was lovely to see Nobu Kyo still around doing this. I remember him in Hanakimi, and that was a while ago. Don 21, The Extreme Ramen Path. In this episode, the previous Saru brother is introduced. Also, Haruka is captured by Sonozar to write manga. Yeah, that's about it. This episode is a tribute to Samurai Sentai Shinkenja, as the villain of the week is the previous Saru brother who turns into a samurai-themed Hitotsuki called Samuraiki, Samurai Demon, possessing a Shinkenja Avataro gear out of his desire to know the answer why Shinichi fights. Samuraiki is clearly based on Shinkenja, the traditional samurai design with the armor, the katana that catches fire to release fire slashes, all very reminiscent of the red leader of the Shinkenjas, Takeru. He also has kanji incorporated into his chestplate and helmet, one meaning wicked and the other meaning death, as in times where samurai were prevalent, they were both wicked and caused a lot of death, and also because he's an evil character, hence the kanji, which is again another reference to the kanji that the Shinkenjas have on their helmets. But also, they were brave and full of persistence, probably answering Samuraiki's question to why Shinichi fights. And to finish off, the samurai from his name is in reference to the title of the season, Samurai Sentai Shinkenja, samurai of course being the military nobility of ancient Japan. Also, we cannot forget the intro to this episode. It literally looks like the end of a traditional Japanese movie. It's old-fashioned with the samurai outfits and the traditional Japanese wear, and it's just a nice touch for the beginning of this, so it makes sense that there will be a samurai episode with it. Don 22. In this episode, Haruka, still captured by Sonozar, is still drawing manga. This episode is a tribute to Denji Sentai Mega Ranger, as the villain of the week is a millionaire who turns into a jellyfish/plasma globe themed Hitotsuki called Denjiki, electromagnetic demon, possessing a Mega Ranger Avataro gear out of his desire to listen to an interesting story that dispels boredom. Oh, woe is the rich man with so much money but nothing to do. He's just really, really lonely only. Denjiki is designed after the Mega Ranger, with an orb-like head similar to the helmet of the Mega Rangers, which leads to the overall design of a plasma globe/jellyfish for some reason. I mean, what other animal or creature has a bulbous head other than a jellyfish? So, makes sense. With said orb-like head, he can bring to existence anything he imagines, as well as a surfboard device, which most likely is a reference to the cyber sliders which the Mega Rangers used. As well, in the background, you can hear the Digitizer's voice shouting 335, the transformation code for the Mega Rangers. And to finish off, the Denji from his name is in reference to the title of the season. Denji Sentai Mega Ranger. Denji meaning electromagnetic. Ah, that's the connection. Electromagnetic, electric like stings from jellyfish. That makes so much more sense. Duh! This episode plot is very ironic, as he craves stories to dispel boredom, but with the powers of his Hitotsuki, he can imagine anything and it becomes true. Very ironic. Don 23. Dog becomes a dog. In this episode, Tsubasa is trapped in his Inu form, so Dog Ranger's stuck as a dog. This episode is a tribute to Juken Sentai Geki Ranger, as the villain of the week is a student who turns into a big cat/kung fu themed Hitotsuki called Jukenki, Beast Fist Demon, possessing a Geki Ranger Avataro gear out of his desire to learn the Constitution without any noise. The Jukenki is so obviously based on the Geki Ranger show. Firstly, it's a big cat who knows kung fu. That's pretty much the whole show's premise, being animal themed, and could also be a reference to the Rangers themselves, or even to their master, Master Shafu, who is a felis, a cat species native to most of Africa. Great to have a Donbrothers episode about animals with the comparison of the Geki Ranger villain and Inu brother who can't untransform. But the Geki Rangers edition don't end there. The head is a paw, the chest is covered in spots and fur, and his shoulders are like claws. Or even the transformation grip Super Geki Claw, which helps them transform into their Super Geki Ranger forms from the show. Now, we've talked about design, let's talk about the abilities. He can summon an astral copy of himself, shooting lightning from his eyes, and knows kung fu. I mean, that's cool in itself, and I think is one of the few Hitotsuki that fight in a desert rocky environment, an environment matching the animal theme once again. And to finish off, the Juken from his name is in reference to the title of the season, Juken Sentai Geki Ranger. Juken meaning Beast Fist. Don 24. Sun, trenchcoat for 2. In this episode, Taro needs to lie for a mother missing her son. This episode is a tribute to Ninja Sentai Kakuranger, as the villain of the week is the lady's son, who turns into a ninja-themed Hitotsuki called Ninjaki, Ninja Demon, possessing a Kakuranger Avataro gear out of his desire for a purpose in life. I mean, I'm 26 now, and still looking for my purpose. I felt this one hard. We have had another Ninja Hitotsuki already, but Ninjaki is themed specifically after Kakuranger, showing a hooded figure with eyes still seen and a gold band around his head, exactly like the Sentai team, and almost identical to Ninja Man, which I think was the intention. Ninjaki again has a great use of ninjutsu, running fast, use of kunai, and vanishing. But not of him disappearing, I mean, people disappearing. Without their clothes. So wherever they are they just naked? Okay, this feels weird. Moving on. Again, the episode and the Sentai reference has a connection of the son running away to hide as they don't know what their purpose in life is, and ninjas being known for hiding in the shadows. Again, just clever connections. And to finish off, the ninja from his name is in reference to the title of the season, Ninja Sentai Kakuranger. Don 25, Hero Worker. In this episode, Kijino loses his job, and Taro lends a hand. This episode is a tribute to Dai Sentai Goggle 5, as the villain of the week is the director of Pheasant Consultant, and Kijino's old boss, who turns into an ancient ruins-themed Hitotsuki called Daiki, Great Demon, possessing a Goggle 5 Avataro gear out of his desire to have an excellent subordinate. Daiki is inspired by Goggle 5 straight away just with their use of rhythmic gymnastics and their use of weapons, each referring to a weapon used by the Goggle 5 team. For example, using a ribbon must be Goggle Pink's pink ribbon, using the clubs must be Goggle Black's black clubs, using a ball must be Goggle Yellow's yellow ball, and then finally using a hula hoop, which must be Goggle Blue's blue ring. God, that was hard to say. His design shows statues of stone, most likely meant to show Atlantis or even Greek temples, showing a built foundation, but it's built on his shoulders, representing a lot of pressure to keep the foundation stable, meaning he has a lot of responsibilities on his shoulders. He even has the same jewel design on the forehead as Goggle Red does. And to finish off, the Dai from his name is in reference to the title of the season, Dai Sentai Goggle 5. Dai meaning great, which funny enough can connect to this episode. Daiki has built up his empire, his office, to show greatness, and lacking in that greatness has made him into a Hitotsuki. Don 26, Finale Forward Step Out. In this episode, the team competes for MVP of the group after watching the finale of Kamen Rider Revice. Yeah, Donbrothers is as crazy as it seems. This episode is a tribute to Kamen Rider Revice, I guess. Yeah, moving on. Don 27, Duel for Real. In this episode, Taro and Sonoi have their duel to the death, which is interrupted again and again. This episode is a tribute to Maho Sentai Magi Ranger, as the villain of the week is a returning character, Minoru Onu, who this time turns into a wizard-themed Hitotsuki called Mahoki, magical demon, possessing a Magi Ranger Avataro gear out of his desire to get revenge on Taro, as well as learning magic. Mahoki is clearly based after Magi Ranger and Woolzard, wizards of old with a wizard's hat merging to become a broom, I think, covered in purple like Woolzard's armor, as also like his previous Hitotsuki, also wearing purple, but also wearing a cape that flows majestically behind. He wields a wand that allows him to do magic used by the Magi Rangers, yellow's lightning and green's earth magic, including a magic circle, which just is the Magi Rangers' magic circle, which is cool. And to finish off, the Maho from his name is in reference to the title of the season, Maho Sentai Magi Ranger. Maho meaning magic. Don 28, Secret's Secret. In this episode, everyone is trying to steal a painting. This episode is a tribute to Kagaku Sentai Dynaman, as the villain of the week is a girlfriend of the late Takio Aota, a painter, and she turns into a scientist/chemical explosion-themed Hitotsuki called Kagakuki, Science Demon, possessing a Dynaman Avataro gear out of her desire to get her late boyfriend's paintings. Kagakuki is designed after Dynaman, with her science theme shown in the 2 lab bottles tipping over and 2 liquids flowing out, volcanic rock and a chemical explosion, shown by the gold sparks. This Hitotsuki is bright, with the red and the blue liquid, and considering it's an art episode, I see why they did it. But mainly, this is a science-themed Hitotsuki, Kagakuki being able to create explosions due to the explosion ability that Dynamen have. The mixing of liquids is very similar to painting and mixing colours together to get different shades for painting. Could this be a connection to the art in the episode? I don't know. I've done 28 of these so far, and we are far from done, so if I get a little bit loopy, don't mind me. So to finish off, the Kagaku from her name is in reference to the title of the season, Kagaku Sentai Dynaman, Kagaku meaning science. Don 29, Mourning and Murasame. In this episode, Taro attends Sonoi's funeral. This episode is a tribute to Bakuryu Sentai Aba Ranger, as the villain of the week is a president of a company who turns into a dinosaur-themed Hitotsuki called Bakuryuki, Blast Dragon Demon, possessing an Aba Ranger Avataro gear out of its desire for everyone to act faster. Bakuryuki is designed to look like Aba Ranger, a dinosaur face and chestplate with claws hanging down from the shoulders. It's very interesting how they've done different dinosaur seasons and different ninja seasons as different Hitotsukis, so I'm interested in the design. He has the ability to generate the Aba Ranger logo to smash his opponents. Talk about obvious, obnoxious advertising. Anyway, another ability he has is that he is quick and explosive, like the other Aba Rangers. And to finish off, the Bakuryu from his name is in reference to the title of the season, Bakuryu Sentai Aba Ranger, Bakuryu meaning Blast Dragon. Don 30, Juto Hunter. In this episode, Miho's true identity as a Juto is revealed after Haruka's aunt is kidnapped. This episode is a tribute to Choshinsei Flashman, as the villain of the week is a man who turns into a prism/supernova-themed Hitotsuki called Choshin Senki, Supernova Demon, possessing a Flashman Avataro gear out of his desire to eat more spicy food. Oh my god, this word. Choshin Senki is based on Flashman in design, representing the prism of light with the shape as well as a supernova, a powerful and luminous explosion of a star, hence the light in the middle of the chest and the almost action lines to show the explosion. Other than the design, Choshin Senki can generate 5 meteor stars, one each the colour of the original team. Of course, meteors are what comes off broken asteroids or planets/stars, so for them to use meteors as the attack makes a lot of sense, scientifically. Me acting like I know what I'm talking about. Now, talking about just the plot and the similarities with Flashman, the name of this episode is Juto Hunter, and for those fans of Flashman may know, but at the beginning of Flashman's season, shows 5 children getting kidnapped by an alien group dubbed the Alien Hunter. So, Juto Hunters, Alien Hunters, Haruka's aunt being kidnapped, and the 5 kids being kidnapped. Damn, who'd have thought? But everything is for a reason. But not too sure why he wants to eat so much spicy food. I did have a look to see if any character likes spicy food as a reference, but nothing yet. Let me know if you know what that connection is. Oh my god, I'm actually so silly. It's in reference to the Aba Ranger curry house. It's a reference to the curry house. How did I not work that out? Oh my gosh. Man, god dang it. And even that is not even for this episode. Apple Ranger was a couple episodes ago. What's going on? And to finish off, the Choshinsei from his name is in reference to the title of the season. Choshin, oh my god, I have to say it 2 more times in the script. Choshinsei Flashman. Choshinsei meaning supernova. I don't have to say that word ever again. Thank gosh. Hiya, we're over halfway through, done with this whole video and all the episodes. So I just wanted to say, hiya, Kezza here. I just want to say thank you for watching so far. I hope you're enjoying this video. But I do want to make you aware of something. I am trying to get 5k by the end of 2023, so we could start the new year in good spirits. I just want to say thank you so much for the support over the last couple years since the start of this channel. I hope you guys are safe. Hope you guys are having a great time. And here's to another whole year of new content. So make sure you go subscribe, like, share, all of the things you have to do. And anyway, enjoy. Bye. From now on, I've kind of lost my voice, so please, if I sound a little bit ill, ignore it. Carrying on with Don 31. Doggy face reveal. In this episode, the Donbrothers search for Ina Brother's true identity. Yeah, they're finally done with not knowing who the Black Ranger is. I mean, I think all of us were a little bit done with it by halfway through. But anyway, this episode is a tribute to Tenso Sentai Goseija, and the villain of the week this time is 2 people, one after another. The first one is a foodie, followed by a street musician, who both turn into an angel-themed Hitotsuki called Tensoki, Heavenly Armored Demon, possessing a Goseija Avataro gear out of their desire to one, go on a diet, and the other, the singer, his desire to meet Shoko. The angel theme from Goseija is very clear here, with white feathers across the chest, leading to the idea of angels with wings, as well as a head with a jewel, the same one as the Dairanger one, but with a crown on top. It alludes to the idea of the Tensoda, their transformation device. Tensoki's powers and weapons include a reference to the Gosei tribe powers from the Skikuk, Landic, and Siik tribes, including being able to generate wings and fly, generate boulders and throw them, and finally generate water and teleport. But one thought I have had about this Hitotsuki is the idea of finding a woman who accepts you and your diets, or someone you desire to meet. Could they be angelic beings to them, or those from prayers? One found his dream girl, so didn't need to have his original desire, and the other one is still searching for her. Someone so perfect in his eyes, he's gone mad with desire. Hence the angelic nature of their perspective, and also the angelic look the Hitotsuki have. Anyway, to finish off, the Tenso from the name is in reference to the title of the season, Tenso Sentai Goseija. Tenso meaning heavenly armament. Don 32, Jewel Part 2, because they're never going to end this jewel, really. In this episode, Sonoi returns from the dead, acting like Taro, hence Jewel Part 2. This episode is a tribute to Go-Go Sentai Bokenja, as the villain of the week is the returning enemy of the Donbrothers, again, Minoru Ono, who this time turned into an adventuring-themed Hitotsuki called Gogoki, rumbling demon possessing a Bokenja Avataro gear out of his desire to defeat Taro Momoi, again. Well, not really again, he hasn't done it once, but that's beside the point. Gogoki is so obviously clearly inspired after Bokenja, possessing the Bokenja logo and compass on his head, an adventuring jacket based on the Explorers, also having a similar camo design on his colour reminiscent of the uniform for Boken Red and Boken Pink, who in a movie actually becomes evil in some ways. Maybe this is supposed to represent that. Minoru's transformation apparently is similar to the Bokenja's also, adding an extra layer of detail, quoting "Startup." The story of this episode could be connected to the Bokenja's drive for adventure and perseverance, as Sonoi returns from the dead, as well as Minoru's fiery determination and perseverance to beat Taro once and for all, again. And to finish off, the Go-Go from his name is in reference to the title of the season, Go-Go Sentai Bokenja. Go-Go meant to be referencing rumbling or the perseverance, as in go-go to your mark. Don 33. The Wasoi Bird. In this episode, after the rematch where Sonoi kills Taro, Sonoi declares himself to be the new leader of the Donbrothers. Gosh, these boys fight a lot. But it's because they really love each other, so like, I don't know. Is that toxic? This episode is a tribute to Taiyo Sentai Sun Vulcan, as the villain of the week is actually a bit different this episode. It is because of Sonoi that Kijino, Surahara, and Haruka all turn into 3 sun-themed Hitotsuki called Taiyoki, becoming Hitotsuki after a bet with Anoto. They turn because of their insecurities with 1. Their marriage, the desire for her manga career, and the desire to keep his Zen way of living. Taiyoki is designed after Sun Vulcan, and it's very clear. Sun and Sun Vulcan. Also having specks of blue, maybe leading to the inclusion of Sonoi's blue, as this is their task from him possibly, but I don't know about that. Also the fact that there are 3 Taiyoki Hitotsukis makes sense, as Sun Vulcan's team is a core team of 3. Taiyoki's ability includes Sun, I guess, lights, blinding their opponents in reference to the Sun Vulcan's solar shower and energy slashes. And to finish off, the Taiyo from their name is in reference to the title of the season, Taiyo Sentai Sun Vulcan. Taiyo meaning sun.
Also, I was certain that this scene with Dr. Master, I don't know what his name is supposed to be here, I was so sure that this was a reference to Kakaranger's famous "Today is Friday" in California scene. But it's not, because that would be Kakaranger from the Kakaranger show. But Kakaranger was referenced in episode 24, so I don't know what's happening. But let me know in the comments what you guys think about this, because it's very, very clear.
Don 34, Natsumi meets me. In this episode, the struggle for love continues. This episode is a tribute to the Tokusei Sentai Dekaranger, as the villain of the week is our lovely Odin owner who turns into a police-themed Hitotsuki called Tokusoki, Special Investigations Demon, possessing a Dekaranger Avataro gear, out of his desire to not have anyone complaining about his cooking. No one should complain about this guy, he's just too lovable. Tokusoki is based in design off of Dekaranger. The Hellhound look is a very obvious reference to our commander of the SPD, Doggy Kruger, Best Boy. Though he looks a bit rabid at the moment, possibly locked in a cage with the metal cage design around his head. Also, the shoulder pads looking a little bit like police sirens. Also, the double tongue, not the look. Abilities-wise, he could jump really high, like the Dekarangers in their opening, and also, like the Dekarangers, can delete anyone in reference to their judgment time. And to finish off, the Tokusei from his name is in reference to the title of the season, Tokusou Sentai Dekaranger, Tokusou meaning special investigation. Also, an added detail, did you know that the Odin shop owner is actually the actor of the Archpriest Gaja from Bokenja? Why not have him in the Bokenja episode? This is the first episode I don't understand the writing as much, other than him possibly policing people's opinions of his Odin, but that still doesn't really make any sense. If you see a meaning, let me know down below. Come on, come on. Anyway, Don 35, Origami Song. In this episode, love in paradise gets worse as Kijino gets Inuzuka arrested, then gets himself arrested. It's all a bit confusing, but this is all because of a woman. Come on, guys. This episode is a tribute to Choju Sentai Live Man, as the villain of the week is a man who turns into a chimera-themed Hitotsuki called Chojuki, Super Beast Demon, possessing a live man Avataro gear out of his desire to have someone to tell him about what youth is, which is actually kinda sad. Chojuki is based off of Live Man's animal theme, really mixing up the design, including a falcon, lion, dolphin, bison, and a sai, which I just found out is Japanese for a rhinoceros. The more you know. Chojuki can slow down opponents, maybe an animal instinct thing, make explosive sparkles, and can shoot lasers, which could be Yellow Lion's gauntlet weapon that can fire energy beams or the triple bazooka. Quick thing also about Choju King, their handgun is similar to Dr. Mazenda, a member of Volt. That could explain the lasers and sparkles, I guess. But I haven't really talked much about the King mecha forms, just because there's so much more detail in them. But for now, I'm not going to mention as much because it's just so much detail, and we're going to be here for so much longer if I do. But to finish off, the Chojin from his name is in reference to the title of the season, Choju Sentai Live Man. Choju meaning Super Beast. Don 36. Dog Battle. In this episode, Inuzuka gets taken to the Juto forest, and the Juto takes his place. Ooh, spooky. This episode is a tribute to QQ Sentai Go-Go 5, as the villain of the week is a timid man who turns into a firefighter-themed Hitotsuki called QQki, Rescue Demon, possessing a Go-Go 5 Avataro gear out of his desire for someone to rescue him, which is really ironic, because he looks terrifying for someone always scared. Kyukyuki is designed after the Go-Go 5, the firefighting motif running through the orange complexion, mask and helmet, and the tubed hose for water, right out of Firefighter, Daigo of Fire. He can suck people into his gas mask. That's meant to be air, you silly Hitotsuki. Cause a circle of flame, you're meant to stop the fire, you silly hell-raising Hitotsuki. And traps his victims. Okay, that's enough. You are fired from the firefighting branch, you Hitotsuki. Man, can't get the right help these days. And to finish off, the QQ from his name is in reference to the title of the season, QQ Sentai Go-Go 5. QQ meaning rescue, which is ironic as this whole episode, the timid man just wants to be saved. Don 37. I and Ni and Za and Shi. In this episode, we are introduced to Sonoshi, a Noto inspector. This episode is a tribute to Seiju Sentai Gingaman, as the villain of the week is, I guess, Sonoshi. Who'd have thought? Who is just fabulous, by the way. They turn into a beast-themed Hitotsuki called Seijuki, Star Beast Demon, possessing a Gingaman Avataro gear, a Hitotsuki who was born from none other than Minoru Ono, again looking for revenge. God, this guy needs help. However, the Donbrothers transfer the Hitotsuki to Sonoshi to get them out of their way. Yikes. Don't get on their bad side. And these are supposed to be the heroes. But talking about bad sides, Seijuki is designed after Gingaman, showing an animal beast with tusks and skulls, I guess meant to represent the Galacta beasts, as well as one of their enemies, the space pirate Bulban. A skull like Jolly Roger. I mean, it explains the pointed horns and ugly face, which Sonoshi would have hated, wanting to make themselves perfect and beautiful. Additionally, I just had a look. Balban was meant to also mean barbaric, which makes sense because of the Balban crew being pirates, but also as the episode was in fact barbaric, trying to rid themselves of Sonoshi by transferring the Hitotsuki over and killing them for it. Yikes. To finish off, the Seiju from their name is in reference to the title of the season, Seiju Sentai Gingaman, Seiju meaning Star Beast. Don 38, Nonsensical Cooking. In this episode, we see a cooking competition between our very own cooking master, Inuzuka, and a chef. This episode is a tribute to Denshi Sentai Denzaman, as the villain of the week is the gourmet critic judging the competition, who turns into a circuit board themed Hitotsuki called Denshiki, Electric Demon, possessing a Denzaman Avataro gear out of her desire to eat new dishes. Denshiki is designed off of electronics, circuit boards, etc., referencing the Denzaman show, Denzi computer, and the robotics behind all the powers and helmets. Also featuring a code-like number on their face, which is said to be the first episode airing date, 1980? February the 2nd. In this episode, the contestants are eaten and kept in Denshiki's stomach, which I guess is their own pocket dimension, and introduces weird-looking fruits that are supposedly a reference to the Denzi star planet from the show, and again, supposedly are repaints of the Helheim fruits featured in Kamen Rider Gaim. This I can't confirm, but it's very similar, just look. And to finish off, the Denshi from her name is in reference to the title of the season, Denshi Sentai Denzaman, Denshi meaning electronic. Gosh, we are nearly there. Don 39, Unexpected Button Pressing. In this episode, the team presses a button and summons Don Killer. Why do we press buttons without knowing what they do? YOLO, I guess. This episode is a tribute to Jaku Denji Kitai, as the villain of the week is the girlfriend of a cheating man who turns into a card suit themed Hitotsuki called Jackie, Evil Demon. Almost like Chucky, that's kind of ironic. Possessing a Jaku Avataro gear out of her desire to have more attention. Well, Jackie is designed for sure after the suits of cards and knights, showing a heart, club, diamond, and spade. But what I'm trying to work out is it the heart or spade on top? I can't work it out, as clearly this is an episode about unrequited love for the Hitotsuki, so you'd think the heart would be the main element, in reference to Karen Mizuki as Heart Queen. But that looks very spadey to me, like Goro Sakurai as Spade Ace, and the heart is over the chest instead. But actually, what do I know? It's in reference to the end of the opening. Heart is on the bottom, spade is on top, diamond to the left, and club to the right. That's clever. Jackie can create lightning bolts that will definitely get someone's attention, and can summon cards to attack her enemies. I still think the Queen of Hearts is a clear element through this episode, especially as our cheated on girlfriend is dressed up in a pink heart cardigan, pink shorts, and long red boots, similar to Karen's fashion choices in Jaku. Also falling in love deeply with someone like Karen and fellow teammate Goro. And to finish off, the Jack from her name is in reference to the title of the season, Jaku Denji Kitai, Jack coming from Jaku. Don 40, Dangerous Love Ride. In this episode, Haruka is learning to drive. Meanwhile, love is brewing as Sonoi has feelings for Inuzuka. I mean, this was eventually going to happen, and I'm glad it did. This episode is a tribute to Mirai Sentai Time Ranger, as the villain of the week is Haruka's driving instructor, who turns into an owl/clock themed Hitotsuki called Miraiki, Future Demon, possessing a Time Ranger Avataro gear out of his desire for someone to instruct him on how to deal with the Donbrothers. No one can really prepare you for the Donbrothers, nor Inoue's writing, so good luck. This one I was excited for, as he is referenced to clocks, of course, and also the owl from Time Ranger called Navigator Robotak. He's only on screen for a bit and becomes Miraiki even quicker, which again, ironic for someone designed on time. Yeah, another reference I thought I would just add in is that Instructor Muto's jacket is based on the Tomorrow Research jacket. And to finish off, the Mirai from his name is in reference to the title of the season, Mirai Sentai Time Ranger. Mirai meaning future. Also, the Time Ranger season actually showcases a forbidden love of two people from the present and the future. And in this episode, we have a forbidden love between Human and Noto. We'll see how that turns out. Don 41, Santa Struggling. In this episode, we learn that Christmas is a major part of Noto culture, for some reason. This episode is a tribute to Hikari Sentai Maskman, as the villain of the week is an incarnation of Santa Claus, who turns into a Buddha-themed Totsuki called Hiraiki, Light Demon, possessing a Maskman Avataro gear out of his desire to take revenge on people who have changed with the times. Talking about changes with the times, Hikariki's design is heavily based on a Buddha-looking statue from Hindu mythology, references in Maskman's ideologies with martial arts, the mural in the back of their base, as well as meditation that Commander Sanjuro Sugata is seen doing a lot, even floating when doing so. Is this episode a religious one, as Santa's incarnation has lost faith in people, similar to those who lost faith in religion, but regained his belief? I will not act like I know all about Hindu mythology, as I would hate to offend anyone, but this is very possible, as faith and hope are all around and people need hope to move forward, and with his light reignited and hope restored, he can move forward again to bring joy at Christmas time. Now onto the abilities. Hikariki can float using meditation like Commander Sanjuro Sugata, and with the aura powers from Maskman, he uses it to fight and levitate things. But he doesn't actually look like Santa. It's not a Santa-based Hitotsuki, it's just Maskman. He's not really Christmas. Oh well. And to finish off, the Hikari from his name is in reference to the title of the season, Hikari Sentai Maskman. Hikari meaning light, and what lighter purer time is Christmas. Merry Christmas, by the way. Don 42, Off-Putting Family. In this episode, the Donbrothers become a family to catch a con man. This episode is a tribute to Himitsu Sentai Go Ranger, as the villain of the week is a scam artist who turns into a darkness/rainbow themed Hitotsuki called Himitsuki, Secret Demon, possessing a Go Ranger Avataro gear out of his desire for someone to help him escape from a dangerous family, the Donbrothers. Hey, you scam people, this is your karma, having to deal with this. No good luck for you, sir. Now Himitsuki's design got me a bit confused, but I see it now. From the Go Rangers show, we have the rainbow in the back as a reference to the Go Rangers logo. Colors galore. Then the black elements are in reference to the Black Cross Führer. I love this contrast as they appear religious and holy, bright skies and pure, hence the rainbow and religious wear. However, behind the mask is his con artist intentions and the black cross going across his body representing that. Oh, also it's a black cross. Oh, you're in trouble. And your comeuppance is dealing with the Donbrothers. Karma feels good, huh? Now for his abilities. He uses all the Go Rangers' individual weapons, which is a pretty clear reference that I just absolutely missed when watching this show. He uses Aka Ranger's Red Butte, a whip, Owl Ranger's Blue Cherry, a bow, Momo Ranger's Earring Bombs, which of course are bombs, and Mido Ranger's Midomarang, a boomerang. What about Key Ranger's YTC, huh? And to finish off, the Himitsu from his name is in reference to the title of the season, Himitsu Sentai Go Ranger. Himitsu meaning secret, which makes sense as the scam artist is dressed as a monk, here for his own secret mission, as well as the Donbrothers pretending in secret to be a real family, as well as hiding the secret from Taro, a mission in itself. Should have chosen a different house, man. It would have spared us all from this. Don 43, Run Through Time, Run Through the Mysteries. In this episode, Haruka's nemesis is found to be Haruka herself, but from the future and from another parallel universe apparently. Did not expect that one, did you? This episode we don't have a Hitotsuki, as the enemy of this episode is future Don Murasame, who is looking awesome with the golden flex, coming to hunt down future Haruka. So no references here really. Moving on. Don 44, White Revealed, Black Revealed. In this episode, finally, after 43 episodes, Inazuka's identity as Ina brother is revealed. Took you long enough. A lot happens in this episode, my gosh. But anyway, this episode is a tribute to Chodenshi Bioman, and takes place before the events of Avataro Sentai Donbrothers spin-off. This is the Donbrothers roll call, the true Avataro, as the villain of the week is an office worker who turns into an electronic-themed Hitotsuki called Chodenshiki, Super Electron Demon. possessing a bioman Avataro gear out of his desire to have someone to praise him more. The workplace environment in Japan is just brutal, man. Chodenshiki, looking very familiar to another Hitotsuki, is based after Bioman, again a show referencing electronics and circuit boards. But even before, in his human form, he has silver headphones around his head, looking like the helmets of Bioman. He's dressed all in silver, possibly meant to be Biohunter Silver, or could very much be a reference to Monster. I think this one makes more sense. One of the 3 android generals of Neo Empire Gear. And more on that, there is a woman dressed in red, and the boss he wants to impress with long hair, as very clear references to Farah and Dr. Man. Wow! Haven't even looked too deep, and we already have all of this. Even the tie could be a reference to the team's colours. What is this episode? Quickly moving on to the Hitotsuki's design and abilities, again we have a reference to Bioman's airing date on his head, Bioman 1984, February the 4th, and he can shoot lights that make people praise him, also making them do a fist across the chest similar to their transformation sequence, which is a pretty useless ability and kinda sad. He makes me sad. Please go away. And to finish off, the Chodenshi from his name is in reference to the title of the season, Chodenshi Bioman. Chodenshi meaning Super Electron. Avataro Sentai Donbrothers spin-off. This is the Donbrothers roll call, the true form of the Donbrothers. God, is this an anime title or what? Now for a bit of a weird one. In this spin-off, we meet Entotsuki, Chimney Demon, a chimney-themed Hitotsuki whose original form and desire is unknown. This special is meant to be here in chronological order, as Subasa's identity as Ina brother were just revealed and reuses footage from the second episode, hence why it looks like the train-themed Hitotsuki possessing the Tokuja Avataro gear. Is it them again? I don't think so, but we'll see. And to finish off, the Entotsu from their name means chimney, a steam locomotive chimney, so if maybe Boombuja is actually a reference to loud locomotive trains or loud machinery, I don't know what this is in reference to. Just wanting to do a spin-off, I guess, but not very clever writing, huh, in a way. Don 45, Laughing Village, Rugged Village. In this episode, Taro, Jiro, and Inuzuka, now officially part of the team, go to Jiro's hometown, where we get a shocking reveal. This episode is a tribute to Hyakuju Sentai Gal Ranger, as the villain of the week is Kijino again. This time he turns into a cloud/animal themed Hitotsuki called Hyakujuki, 100 Beast Demon, possessing a Gal Ranger Avataro gear out of his desire for Miho to come back. This guy goes on a roller coaster for sure, and even has a thing up with dolls, it's really weird. Again, with the beast face design used for Sonoshi, his look has the addition of clouds and animals, referring to the floating island where the animals and team reside in Gal Ranger, as well as the power animals themselves, as there is also a mini squish planet or island at his chest. I want to bring up the floating island also, as it's a location away from our usual routes, floating in the sky for Gal Rangers, and for the Donbrothers, maybe the connection is a bus trip away, but also they get sent to the Juto Forest too. Very dreamlike in many ways, and that's the connection, I think. And to finish off, the Hyakuju from his name is in reference to the title of the season, Hyakuju Sentai Gal Ranger, Hyakuju meaning 100 beasts. And that's not even commenting on the fact that the King Oja Zord was featured in this episode, but we'll talk about King Oja later. Don 46, A Natsumi Night's Dream. In this episode, with Taro stuck in the Juto Forest and Kijino sealed away after his last jaunt as a Hitotsuki, again, Sonoi tries to save them. This episode is a tribute to... no one gets turned into a Hitotsuki this episode, actually. The only villains there are some extra Notos, the Juto, and a Juto disguised as Taro. But soon Taro becomes the guardian of the forest, sending the Juto back to whence they came. I think this episode needed to be less about the Hitotsuki, as we got hit by character development on Jiro's end. Sonoi's end too. We also have the end of the confusing twin love story. Enough happened to fill this episode, so just another episode meant for development, and sometimes you need those. Don 47, Don No Conference, and Don 48, 9 Donbro. In these episodes, the Noto trio and Donbrothers hold a conference for an alliance, but not everyone is too keen on the idea. These episodes is a tribute to 2 seasons this time. I'm saying them together as the villain of the week is a couple who Shinosuke turns into a Japanese flagged themed Hitotsuki called Sekaiki, referencing Battle Fever J, and Tamaki returns again, but this time as a military soldier-themed Hitotsuki called Denjikiki, referencing Denjiki Sentai Changeman. They each possess the corresponding Avataro gear out of their different desires. His is for Tamaki to turn back to normal, and hers is out of the same desire from before, for attention. Lads, come on, do the basic requirements, it's not that hard. Now Sakaiki is shown with colours on his sash, showing the colours of the original Battle Fever team, and based apparently on the Japanese flag, which I guess I can see. The red dot in the middle is the red head, and the white around him being the rest of the white flag, looking like it's been blown in the wind, more like a hurricane. Also, I don't know if you guys know this, but it sounds like my name in their opening. Just listen. Yeah, my name is actually Carrie Ann. There you go. Slight lore update. Anyway, moving on. Denjiki's design is a lot darker this time, referencing a military soldier for Changeman's military theme, along with the other themes of European mythological creatures. Hence what I can only describe as dragon wings on his shoulders, and a similar design of the Sentai's helmet on her head. I just realized both are world-based Sentai, and this episode is all about combining and joining forces to work together against the other Noto, a plan that Taro creates. And to finish off, the Sekai from his name is in reference to the title of the season, Battle Fever J. Sekai meaning world, and the Denjiki from her name is in reference to the title of her season, Denjiki Sentai Changeman. Denjiki meaning Blitzkrieg, which is a weird one, a German word meaning lightning wall. Possibly the strategy that Taro decides to use to quickly combine their efforts. I mean, it works, you can't lie.
Also, I love how Sonoi and Inuzuka knew that this was Taro's plan all along. Oh, Sonoi knows him so well.
Don 49, Last Memories. In this penultimate episode, though the group is finally won, their attentions are elsewhere, and Sonoshi's group wants revenge. This episode is a tribute to Osama Sentai King Oja, before it even came out. Now that's clever, as the villain of the week is, wanna guess? It's Minoru once again! Becoming an insect/king themed Hitotsuki called Osamaki, King Demon, possessing a King Oja Avataro gear, thanks to the Noto inspector's meddling. I'm still shocked how I didn't recognize this foreshadowing and writing. What was I doing when I was watching this? It clearly shows a crown theme with maybe bugs around their eyes, and even references the future Sentai's team colors when he clones himself. Red, yellow, blue, black, and purple. Rita would be so proud. Or not. And to finish off, the Osama from his name is in reference to the title of the season, Osama Sentai King Oja. Osama meaning king. You may ask if this is the end for Minoru? Is this the last time we'll see him? Osamaki is technically the final Hitotsuki in the series, but not the final one overall, and definitely not the last of Minoru. You better believe it. Don Final. We have made true bonds. In this final episode, we say goodbye to our rangers. Taro talks to his companions and soon starts to forget them all, having all conflicts resolved. This episode killed me, honestly, and honestly is a tribute to the Donbrothers, I would say. It finishes some storylines, not all, as this is the Donbrothers after all, and has no Hitotsuki, but villains there are still, as the Noto Council sends executioners to finish their job. After Taro's sacrifice and the last few moments in this final episode, it is clear that this is a Donbrother ending fit for the show. And I know many disliked it, but I loved it. Mostly. But that's not the end, folks. We have a couple more. Avataro Sentai Donbrothers vs Zenkaija. The team are back with Taro in tow in this movie of heartbreak and confusion and a little disappointment and lacking of lore. Maybe I didn't like this one really. This episode is a tribute to Kikai Sentai Zenkaija, of course. And of course you have to have the Versus movie with the previous show, and to have the theme be of that show. And guess who it is? It's Minoru! Once again! This time being a machine-themed Hitotsuki called Kikaiki, Machine World Demon, out of his desire to avenge his ill mother by exposing and killing the Donbrothers, hence ending the Don clan once and for all. This guy really needs help. This is a cry for help, and at this point an absolute addiction, dude. He has gears and bolts all over his body, machine gun and extended robotic arms, referencing to the Gertlinger, and has revenge in his eyes, wherever they are. Minoru wears in his human form a gear headband and a vest like Kaito in Zenkaija, which is funny to see, of course, as Kaito is already here in the movie twice, as Kaito from the Zenkaija world and as Master in the Donbrothers world. The Kikai from his name is in reference to the title of the season, Kikai Sentai Zenkaija. Kikai meaning machine world. And about this movie, I was majorly disappointed. Did this movie give any reason why the Master was here? No. Did it kill Sonoi? Maybe. Was it not a great movie and I want to rewrite it? Hell yes. Let's move on to the next Hitotsuki before I get annoyed. ABBA Rangers with Donbrothers. This was a promotional special, I think, meant to showcase and announce the then upcoming ABBA Ranger movie, meant for its 20th anniversary. Bakuryu Sentai ABBA Ranger 20th, The Unforgivable Abare. This special is a tribute to Bakuryu Sentai ABBA Ranger, as the villain of the final special is an unknown person who turns into a ice-themed Hitotsuki called Hyogaki. Hyoga? Could it be a reference to Hyoga himself? I am so unsure, as we don't know the desire or specifics other than thinking it's an ABBA Ranger gear and ABBA Ranger theme. But we already had an ABBA Ranger episode, I don't understand. Hyogaki is just ice with icy breath that can freeze anything. Hyogaki literally meaning Ice Age. The ice being in reference to the Ice Age that killed off the dinosaurs? Oof, that's low. So with that in mind, is Hyogaki really a Hitotsuki? Or is it just a coincidence that Hyogaki's name has a key at the end? Fine, sure. Come on then, you fake Hitotsuki! But it has the undersuit, and Taro keeps on saying that there's a human inside, but once they defeat it, there is no body. Oh, okay, fine. Yeah, it's promotional material to help another Sentai. I guess it's fine if it doesn't make complete sense. On that note, let's finally end this video. Finally! After 50 episodes and 3 movies, I think I can do that. There was one more special, but it didn't really have a Hitotsuki, so I won't mention it. But yeah, gosh, there we have it. All mentions and references to all the Hitotsuki episodes. There were so many references I missed out on when watching Donbrothers initially, and it's so jam-packed to the brim. Not only in the Sentai suit changes, but mainly to the villains and the storytelling. How did I in fact miss them? I have no idea, but thanks for watching this long video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you'd be up for me doing more long content in the future, but that's all from me now, because I am ill. Kezza Henshin, Mata. Wait! The Avataro Sentai Donbrothers versus Avataro Sentai Donburis episode just came out. No, matine, I'm done. Goodbye! I hope you enjoyed that really long video. It took a long time. So hopefully this video won't flop. But again, just to remind you, I'm trying to get to 5k by the end of the year. So please subscribe, like, follow, share if you want to. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!